at least when I open up and be like, we have these coupons for Domino's, people are like, well, I like pizza.
Yeah,
Sure.
Exactly. They don't mind hearing your pitch. Now, in the 3 months that you did door-to-door sales, did you ever, knock on a door, and the person who answered the door, you just immediately were creeped out or scared? Like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I mean, yeah, it was PG County. Some people just open the door and just be like, get the F. Like, what are you doing here? You know what I mean?
Good
Just
times.
That anger. And you could read it pretty quick.
Problem with the Census Bureau was most people are not home during the day.
Right.
But your job hours are during the day. And you notate every house you go to, whether you got a response, whatever the deal is, the time that you got there, and knowing that you're going to go back because some days we just get the day off. And then you start working about 4 or 5, and you go to 8 or 9 o'clock at night. So you're knocking on these doors where you'd been there before to see if anybody's home because they're probably working.
Right.
And those were the interesting times, I thought, because, whole families would be there like, look, we need 2 minutes. That was what we told. We just need 2 minutes to get this done for the federal government, and we will be out here. And a lot of times people would just invite us in, and you'd be standing like in the foyer of the hallway and like, that's lasagna. Right. That's some kind of pasta product. It smells delicious. Like, get me the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Sometimes cool kids, whatever. But it's always interesting just being in someone's home who you don't know where all family is present.
Yeah.
So that was the weird aspect of the...
Because everyone's looking at you.
Of the night thing. Like, who are these
I didn't
people?
grow up eating oxtail. The first time I had oxtail was because some woman invited me and my buddy in, and she was like, cooking oxtail. And I just went, I've never had oxtail. And she was like, all right, sit down. And she made us a plate.
All right.
Okay.
How was it?
Delicious.
Yep.
I'd eat it now. I get why it's a thing.
Here's a bizarre one for you. They say for some Nobel Prize winners, the news came with a knock at the door. For others, it was a long-awaited phone call, honoring a discovery made decades ago. Nobel Prizes, they say, are considered among the world's most prestigious honors for achievements in medicine, physics, chemistry, literature, economics, peace. The winners join the pantheon of Nobel laureates.
Laureates.
What does laureates mean? Noblemen?
Basically, it's something you and I have never achieved. You can be a laureate in high school, in college. You're the upper echelon of whatever your specialty is.
Is that Albert Einstein, Mother Teresa?
There you go.
So 5 of this year's 9 science winners were in the United States when the news broke, and some were fast asleep. 2 winners were in Japan, 7 hours out ahead of Stockholm. They were awake and working when the call came from a Swedish number. One thought it was a telemarketer. Here's how some of this year's winners found out. A knock at the door. This takes place in Seattle, when Associated Press photographer Lindsay Wasson knocked on the door of Mary E. Brunkow's Seattle home. It was 4 a.m. local time on Monday.
Who does that?
It was the scientist's dog who woke up first. Zelda's barking roused Brunkow's husband, Ross Clockwin. I don't think he really knew what I was there for. And I said, you know, sir, I think your wife just won the Nobel Prize.
At 4 in the morning, you're done.
Watson's photographs captured him waking up Brunkow and telling her the life-changing news. She was among 3 winners sharing the 2025 Medicine Prize. Don't be ridiculous, she told her husband, but it was true. The trio had, in research dating back for 2 decades, uncovered a key pathway the body uses to keep the immune system in check, called peripheral immune tolerance.
Yeah, of course.
Experts call the finding critical to understanding autoimmune diseases, type 1 diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, and lupus, and everything else. But yeah, the knock on the door came at 4 a.m.
Why?
I don't, it's just so weird to me because it's like, this is not an emergency. This is good news that at whatever time you wake up, you're probably happy to hear it. Mm-hmm. But they're like, 4 a.m. Hey, man, you won the Nobel. Like, I would be excited that I won the Nobel Prize or something, but I'd also be super grumpy because you knocked on my door at 4 o'clock in the morning.
There's nothing. At 4 a.m. to me, and look, I get it. People got to get up to go to jobs sometimes.
Sure.
At 4 a.m. still seems like you're teetering all night. To me, 5 a.m. I go, all right.
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't knock on a door, but 4 a.m., I'm just like, you're lucky you didn't get shot.
The following day, 2 AP photographers headed to Santa Barbara, California to find physicist John Martinez before the sun rose. His wife, Jean, answered the door and told them to come back later. Martinez needed his sleep. For many years, we would stay up on the night the physics award was announced. At some point, we just decided, that's nuts. We'll figure it out if it's happening. But let's just get our sleep. She had laughing. I was trying to think how I can introduce this. Like, do you think you should plan a trip to Sweden? She finally woke her husband up at just before 6 a.m., telling him only that the AP wanted an interview. I kind of knew the Nobel Prize announcements was this week, so I kind of put two and two together. I opened my computer and looked under the Nobel Prize and saw my picture along with the two AP photographers. So I was kind of in shock. The trio won the Physics Prize for the research on the weird world of subatomic quantum tunneling, the advancement
It's
of
also
power
a sex move.
of everyday digital communications and computing. So, just so you know, if you're going to win a Nobel Prize, chances are, if you're on the West Coast, they're going to knock on the door pretty early.
That, for whatever reason, it just shocks me. You know, it's like you said, Nobel, you consider this prestigious thing, and typically I do not equate prestige with a 4 a.m. wake-up call. Not even a wake-up call. I mean, one thing if they called you, say, hey, you won a Nobel Prize, you're like, all right, cool. But they're physically at your home.
Yes.
Do you invite them? Like, I don't know the protocol at 4 a.m. You're giving me good news, but also it's 4 a.m., so I'm really not in the mood to talk, even if I won the lottery. But you're giving me good news. Now, do I invite you into my home at 4 a.m. for a cup of coffee? Do I just wait for you to finish your spiel, say, hey, thanks, close the door on you? You know what I mean?
Hey, I saw some weird crap with the Census Bureau. I saw, at one point in time, the mail slot on the door. A lot of the doors had those.
Yeah.
Like early 1900s homes. Mm-hmm. But the mail slot was in the door. When you open up the slot, you threw the mail in and landed on the floor.
Yeah.
I've seen those lift up very, very slowly.
Well, someone peeking
Look
out
down.
at you?
No, a dog's nose.
Yeah.
I've also seen a cat's arm outside of that as well. As soon as we rang the doorbell.
Cats want to hit everything first.
They just stick their arm out and just start feeling around the door.
So, I mean, like, dogs are a little more cautious. Like, all right, I'm going to sniff with this. As cats are straight up like, I will kill you if I can find you.
Yeah.
You ever seen, have mail snatched out of your hand from a dog on the other side?
No.
Just, my neighbor would occasionally, our mail would get mixed up. He had the same last name as me, and his address was one different. And the first time I went to his house, I'm like 10 years old. I hear his dog barking, and he lives kind of like, not quite a cornfield, but he has a lawn that is overgrown with corn, for lack of a better term. But I hear this dog barking, and I'm just like, it's just roo, roo, roo. So I'm freaking out. I'm panicking, and I'm kind of between his screen and his front door, but there's no shelter. One, the guy was with his dog. So when the guy turned the corner, I felt better. This dog was like the size of a chihuahua. It was not a chihuahua, but this little itty-bitty dog. Picture like, I don't know, if Mini-Me had Shaquille O'Neal's voice, right? It's just not. So this dog just had the deepest voice and freaked me out. But any other time to get the mail, I kind of knew the dog now, so I wasn't sweating it. But he had a mail slot. And I'd open the mail slot, and you could physically feel it get tugged out of your hand by this dog. Every time. Maybe 3 times that I had to go over there and just open the mail slot. He's already barking, and I mean, just grab the mail, snatch it out of my hand.
Yep.
Like, all right, man.